And then when they come out of the water, they're anointed with oil again. And the priest says, and this is one of my favorite lines from the liturgy, he says, so-and-so, you are sealed by the Holy Spirit in baptism and marked as Christ's own forever. While he has a hand on their chest and then he's anointed their forehead, with the sign of the cross. And it's just powerful.
Holy Wild Birth is a podcast embracing the reclamation of giving birth, rooted in God's original design, undisturbed.
Here, we share homebirth stories highlighting God's presence as the great midwife, as well as conversations about all aspects of a holistic, spirit-led childbearing year. From the perspectives of myself, traditional midwife Lauren Hall of Rooted in Eden Private Contract Association,
and me, holistic doula and birthkeeper Brooke Collier of Sister Birth.
To choose a holy wild birth journey is to consecrate all your decisions unto the Lord.
And to reclaim creation unadulterated by centuries of human attempts to control and improve upon what God has already called good.
Please remember, birth is not a medical event, but a natural process. We are not your care providers, and this should not be taken as medical advice. Hello, friend. How are you?
Hey, Lauren. I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
How are you?
I am a little under the weather, but I'm making it. Got my nice warm bone broth in my cup with a little bit of turmeric and some garlic and such in it.
Good choice.
And a big heaping thing of grass-fed butter. And I'm here talking to a good friend. So we're good.
I know you're not feeling your absolute best today, but
no.
But here we are.
We're making the best of it. We're making the best of it.
Well, at least you have a hot beverage, and I also do this time. I have this blackberry Bellini green tea that we got in a sampler pack. It's really good.
Sounds good.
It is, yeah. And I have a little sloth tea infuser that sits on the side of your cup with a cute little face hanging over the side. That's my son's. So just painting the scene for you guys. We have a sticky drinking bone broth and a nerd drinking tea out of a sloth tea infuser.
Love it.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Well, you have some beautiful news to share. So, from this past Sunday, I think we should start there because I want to hear more about your heart on that.
Yeah, sure. I'm actually really excited to share about that. So thanks for asking. Yeah, 3 of my children were baptized yesterday. Yeah, it was a long time coming. So it was the first of any of our children to get baptized, and 3 of them did it at once. And I had been really praying about it and contending with the Lord for it for over a year. Where I had just started feeling like I really want this for my children, Lord. And so it was just a really meaningful day to see that come to fruition for the 3 of them. And it was such a long road to get to that point too. So, in a number of levels. That I think the whole process was sacred and important, but just lots of hard conversations at our house, between my husband and I.
Sure.
About what we believe about baptism and really having to search out scriptures and the church fathers and our own hearts and experiences and what we always pictured and what our own baptism stories were and how do we want to teach our children about baptism and for me because I started to get so hungry for them to be baptized, I caught myself, the Lord caught me in being a little bit graspy and not manipulative, but I was just kind of trying to push it a little too hard, I think. And I remember I was walking through my woods one day and the Holy Spirit was just like, Brooke, you're trying to induce it. Stop,
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, Lord, of course you use a birth metaphor with me.
Right. Of course.
Of course. But that's so perfect. It was
He knows how to speak to us.
Yeah.
He knows how to speak to us.
So much. So I needed that to just kind of let go of trying to, I guess, micromanage or make my own vision come to fruition and just trust him that he has a journey he's on with each of my kids and between me and my husband and that he can birth it. Like, it's a new birth, right? Like, baptism is like a new
Yes.
birth. So it's like, and I can't induce it. I have to wait for his perfect time and his perfect circumstances and the like ripeness and readiness of my children to be born again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a blessed process leading up to it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And my eldest, she's 14, and they'd been asking to be baptized for quite some time, honestly. Like, it wasn't their desire to get baptized was not new, but what we were contending and wrestling with was like where, how, and with whom.
Sure.
Those are the parts that we were having the conversations about. And it turned out she was ultimately like really afraid to be submerged underwater. And I hadn't realized this, but she took this like swimming class when she was a toddler, where evidently the teacher like threw her in the water unexpectedly, and ever since then she's felt like panicky every time she's underwater. So the only thing holding her back at a certain point, she got clear on wanting to do it at our church instead of in her river or lake with me and Tim. She wanted to do it in our church, but she was just scared to go underwater.
Sure.
But she was too shy to talk to Father Chris about it. So finally got her to the point, was like, why don't we just have the conversation with him? And then after we've talked, then you can decide what you want to do with that information. So he was like, yeah, you can just sit in the tank and I'll pour water on your head 3 times and that'll be fine. So then as soon as she heard that, she was like, okay, let's do it. She was in.
I love that. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. And she did really want to be baptized outside because she's such a nature nerd. And Father Chris was like, I'm going to bring the baptismal tank outside this time, which we've never done before at our church. And
that was so precious.
I know, like so thoughtful. So she's in, right? And so then I just say to the other kids, hey, there's going to be baptisms on Sunday. And I'm just checking in with any of you. Like, if you would like to do this, you could do it now. Like, we need to know within the next couple of days because it's coming right up. And if you still think you want to get, baptized in a river or a lake by me and Dad, like that's also something that we can consider. But you've been asking to be baptized. And at this point, it matters less to us exactly where that happens and with whom than that you just are able to do it. And we don't want to stall it out anymore. So anyway, Gus, my second born, who's 12, was like, maybe, let me think about it. So we took a few hours. And then we sat down with the Book of Common Prayer and read through the baptismal liturgy and vows. And I said, so if this like resonates in your heart and you agree with these things, that's great. And if you don't, this probably isn't the time for you. And I said, so what goes on in you while we read through this together and talk about it? And he's like, I don't know, just yeah.
Just yeah.
Just yeah.
I love it.
So
such a like innocent response and yet genuine. Like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then he was in from that moment. So then this is like Thursday, and I've told Father Chris, like our Father Chris. That's not what that came out weird. I was going to say our priest, and then I switched to Father Chris. So it came out our Father. He's not, anyway. So I gave him all the information he needed. So they're all set to go. And he's like, if you have any other people on the fence, just give me all their details too, in case I need to make a certificate for them as well. So I was like, I think that's it. And then the Saturday night, my third born, Walter, found me and he's like, Mom, is it too late for me to get baptized tomorrow?
Oh.
I was like, I don't think so. Like, I'm pretty sure I know Father Chris well enough to know that even if he doesn't have your certificate ready or whatever else, like, because like they give them gifts too. Like, even if he doesn't have them, I'm sure he would still baptize you. But let me check in with him. So texted him like late Saturday night, and he's like, as Providence would have it, I'm at the office right now prepping things for tomorrow. So let's do it. So he was able to get him his certificate and stuff.
So good.
I know. I'm like, okay, Lord, that just feels really confirming for Walter's choice too. And Walter and I also read through the baptism vows together just to make sure he was tracking. And then he told me he knew that Tim and I like had this vision of in the woods, water, like that's what our kids and us had been dreaming of at some point. So this cracks me up. So he rides around on a motorcycle. He evidently like went with his clerical collar on down to the riverbank downtown with a little jar and at 10:30 at night and started scooping river water out into this vial so that he could bring it and add it to the baptism tank for us.
That's so thoughtful.
It made me feel so loved and seen. So during the baptism ceremony, he poured it in and just said some words about our people who are getting baptized today had this vision of woods and rivers, and so I've gathered some water from the ground, and he poured it in before he blessed the water. It's very sweet.
That's so precious. That is so incredibly thoughtful and deeply meaningful. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that.
And we had lots of friends at church who had been praying with us about this, about like just for our family to find our way through this decision and for our kids to be receptive and so on and so forth. So it just felt like we were truly being celebrated with our church family and that they had been longing for it with us.
Yeah.
Which just felt amazing.
It does.
And the Anglican baptism liturgy is so rich and beautiful. And I love it every time I hear it, but it was extra special to have it be my kids.
For sure.
Being a part of it and like the recipient of that. Yeah. When you do baptism in the Anglican tradition, the whole first half of the service is about baptism. Like there's still a sermon, but like the normal liturgy is replaced with the baptismal liturgy, and it has these parts for the candidates for baptism to respond to some vows, like, and their parents with them if they're younger. And then it has this part where they pray against, like, it's almost like an exorcism prayer, actually, where they're anointed with oil, and like the priest prays like for protection against spiritual forces of darkness. And then there's like these parts where the whole congregation prays for the baptismal candidates in this really beautiful responsive prayer. It's just incredible. It's so rich. And then you do the actual immersion. And then when they come out of the water, they're anointed with oil again. And the priest says, and this is one of my favorite lines from the liturgy, he says, "So and so, you are sealed by the Holy Spirit in baptism and marked as Christ's own forever." While he has a hand on their chest, and then he's anointed their forehead, with the sign of the cross. And it's just powerful.
It is.
Just recognizing like something significant happened in the spiritual realms in this moment.
Yes.
It's not just a like, hey, let's dunk in the water. Like, I don't know, it just felt so rich. And
as it should.
Yeah,
as it should.
It is so rich. It is. Yeah. So I'm still kind of on cloud nine today, just kind of like looking at my kids in this sort of new light today, weirdly.
Yeah, not weirdly at all. That's
just
a huge thing.
And yeah. I can't wait to see what God does with you as you like step into this story in this new way, into this reality of your adoption as sons and daughters of God.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Truly beautiful.
And because the Lord knows me and how much I care about photos, I brought my camera, but I didn't really have a plan for who was going to take pictures. I had asked one friend, but I knew she didn't really know how to use it. And then I forgot this other gal at my church who I'm becoming friends with. She's like, "Brooke, can I do that for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was just setting it up in like easy settings." And she's like, "No, I know how to use it." And my big camera, because I forgot she used to be a photographer professionally, and she shot. So she just like took my camera with full confidence and nailed it. Like amazing photos.
That. What a gift.
The focus and the composition, right? Like all those things I care about.
Yeah. Oh,
so I can stop going on and on, but just everything about it felt like a gift.
It is, and that's not going on and on. I mean, that's such a core part of our faith, and I am celebrating from here, and I'm sure our listeners are as well. I mean, I don't know. I can't watch a baptism and not cry. Like, even if I don't know them. And I've watched the video like 3 times already of your babies being baptized. I'm like, oh, look.
Yeah.
Oh, let's watch it again. Hey, kids, come here. Look.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, the kids have all watched it with me, and I wish I could have been there. But other than that, I mean, we're just celebrating from afar.
Thank you.
Because it's such a huge thing. It
is huge. Oh, wait, one more cool thing. 3 of my nephews who live in Wisconsin also got baptized this weekend.
What?
And it was just going to be one of them. And then 2 of his brothers decided to also last minute.
Look at
I'm like,
that.
what is God doing in the Collier family?
Right?
Baptized 6
That's so
Colliers from this
good.
generation in one weekend.
That's significant. All right, Lord. That's really cool. It's really cool. Huh. Well,
What else
after
were we going to
that,
talk about?
where else do we even go? Like that's just cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really grateful.
Anything else coming up for you going on?
I mean, I have a whole list of things I could talk about, but I don't want to talk your ear off the whole time.
I mean, I don't know that I have much to talk about. I'm over here with a bunch of woe is me's. So I like celebrating all your good things right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you've had kind of a cluster of harder things in the last month, I know. Did you want to talk
It's,
about any of those, or would you rather not?
I mean, not really.
It's totally okay. Yeah.
Prayers appreciated. I
Mhm.
am off call for the next month, so that's nice. I'm
That is
excited to
nice.
just have a respite for a little bit because it has been a string of hard births. I did get one beautiful butter birth, I think, since the last time we recorded one of these.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yep.
Really, really sweet, precious birth. But then another hard one this past weekend that I'm still in a kind of a birth fog haze. I feel like I've
Right.
finally gotten enough caught up of sleep, but just another abnormalities happening.
Mhm.
And my husband threw his back out a couple weeks ago, and he's still really slowly recovering. He's finally walking straight, so that's good, but we'll be
Gosh.
just lots of red light therapy and chiropractic and
I was just gonna ask if
you
you'd gotten
know
out the red light on him yet.
oh yeah, I got him well, I used the cold laser, but then I also ended up getting him basically picture like a hot pack that like wraps around the body kind of thing, but it's red lights. So it's like a
Ooh,
wearable red light pack.
nice.
Yeah, so and it has this cute little pocket on it that you can put like a power bank you would use for your phone, like a mobile charging power bank or whatever. And so it has a pocket that'll hold that, and then you can plug into the power bank um instead of just the wall, so you can walk around with it as
Oh,
needed. So he's been wearing
cool.
that a lot, and we saw a big difference when he started wearing that. So
Oh, that's
you
excellent. I
know
love that. That's a
we've
great
been
therapy
doing
choice.
yeah
Yeah.
doing lots of chiropractic and the cold laser and that. And I know he was doing some essential oils under the heating pad as well, and
Mhm.
that when the pain was really really high, that was the main thing that took the edge off for him.
Mm.
But yeah, he slipped that disc, and so it's just been a long recovery. But we are going to the chiropractor right after this call with you. And he's like, I feel like maybe just one more and I'll be and like smoother sailing at this point. But we'll see.
Well, it sounds hopeful.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's on the upswing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And tell
So
me,
that's
Lauren, what do you most look forward to when you're off call? Like for you, what does that mean? Like, oh, now that I'm off call, I can fill in the
turn
blank.
my phone off,
I thought you might say that.
which isn't actually true. Um, but it is to a degree. I can feel like I can leave it in a room and walk away, and I don't have to wear my Apple Watch, which I don't, because I don't love wearing like I don't love wearing the Apple Watch.
Mhm.
And having all of the extra exposures, but it allows me to not feel like I have to have my phone just always interrupting everything, because I get so many notifications all day long
Mhm.
off all
Mhm.
sorts of things. And the truth is, as a midwife, I might get a call of someone who's miscarrying at 11 weeks. I might get a call of my water just broke at 32 weeks. Like I can't, even when I'm not on call,
Right? You
I
still close the
still
bar.
have moms that have to be able to reach me
Yep.
because I'm their main touch point in their pregnancy. And so I still have to be available. And so it feels like it's glued to you, especially, and it's like, oh, it's dying, and there's this mini like anxiety, or you're like driving through the areas of rural Arkansas and you're like, I have no signal, please don't call, like,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
just, and it's just this low lying anxiousness that I just don't, it's the part I don't love about the job. It's like the only part that I'm like, can handle all of the other things, but that like feeling like I want to live this really minimal, disconnected life from like the modern society of stuff, and yet I have to have continuous connection
Mhm.
is like the stressor. And I'm like, I don't have to do that right now. I still have to have my phone. I can't just completely turn it off, but
But, like, you could put it down and go for a walk for an hour,
I
and
can,
it'll be
yeah, like,
okay, you know?
and largely I'm not gonna, I'll be fine. Like, it'll be fine. So I can leave it in the other room. I can go outside and not be like, oh, I didn't bring my phone. I cannot have my Apple Watch on me and like check it when it vibrates during worship on Sunday. Like
Yes.
that is beautiful to me.
Absolutely.
So that is what I'm looking forward to. And we're going to, God's moved our schedules around. And I think it's actually, we were originally supposed to have our Hearthmother Journey retreat for a bunch of our students, and then I was having a midwifery conference I was going to go to after that, and so we had just planned September and October to be completely clear, and we were going to do some traveling, and we were doing a family vacation, and then both of those retreats got canceled, and oddly enough, for the exact same reasons, and so I was like, okay, God, you cleared this. I've turned away so many people. Like, what am I doing this month?
Yeah.
And I kept having this urge to fill it. And he
Mhm.
kept going, I didn't ask you to fill it. Like I filled it and removed it so that it would be, like clear, like leave it alone.
Even though
And
I was
then,
trying to fill it for you too. I was like, "You should still come
yeah,
here and hang out with
you
me."
should still, which sounded wonderful. And I started kind of mentally planning that out. Like, oh, okay, should we all come? Should I just get on a plane? Like, like all the things. And Um, then I had essentially when it all, all everything settled, I ended up with two moms that I'm serving in October that just was like, this is where God wants me to be. And it was very, very clear, and all of the cool confirmations and all of the things that they were looking for and needing, and, you know, answering prayers kind of on all fronts. And so some things even for myself in my practice that came out in a not even a barter, just a like, oh, I can do that for you. Anyway, so it was cool. Very God ordained that I am in these two women's lives
Yeah.
now, and they're in mine. And so yeah, it's just like, okay, so I only have September off. I've been to like the 24th. The September
Okay.
24th is when so I have like right at a month um before I go back on call.
And the retreat would have been right after that, so
Yeah,
you wouldn't
the
be able to
retreat.
go on call then.
Yep, it was the first week that I go on call is that when I should have been there.
Mhm.
And then the other one was like a week and a half later. So I would not have been available for them. And now I am.
Yeah.
So that's a cool thing.
Mhm.
And so I am looking forward to serving them as well and going back on call. It's really just the phone thing. But
Mhm.
we get to also we're gonna take like a family vacation in Arkansas.
Oh, great.
So just kind of be a little bit more disconnected, try and find a stretch of days that I don't have to have any prenatals going on, and we can, just be tourists in our own state
That'll be
and do
great. You have a
something
beautiful state.
fun. And yeah, we really do. And there's lots of great places to go, and some places we've never been to, and or at least some of my kids haven't been to. And so we'll just try and do something as a family that they've been wanting to do, that they can have mom's undivided attention and she doesn't have to look at her phone when it rings,
Right.
because actually with them. So Brandon and I was like, I told my
Yeah.
husband, I want us to take a good date, and I want to take a away trip with the kids, together. And I would like to take a mini myself away to finish my book.
Yeah.
So
Do it.
I'm going to fit all 3 of those in this next month. So I
That's a
guess
great goal.
those are the, like, marriage and the family and then myself. And I guess
Yeah,
technically it's a little bit of a work thing too, but I think it'll be really nourishing anyways to just write
I think it will, because this
and
is like the stuff you'll be writing about is something that lights you up, and just to even
yes,
be
for sure.
alone in a beautiful
Yeah.
place, hopefully, without
Yeah.
interruption is so refreshing.
Yeah. So that's my plan for the next month is, I can't be completely, gone because I do have 2 mamas that are fresh postpartum, and I'll have some that are coming into, very late and need their, like, weekly visits and all the things, but I guess bi-weekly right now, but I can at least take those retreats
Mhm.
in this time period. We're going to make the
Perfect.
most of that.
I've been on call off call all summer supposedly, and yet I
Yeah.
ended up attending a birth, about a month
2
ago.
births and you're not on call period.
Well, one was that one I already told you all about, and then the second
Yeah.
one just happened, like, 2 days ago. You know about that, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
I know.
I didn't hear the
So
story yet because I was at a birth at the same time,
oh,
so
you didn't. Okay, so let me tell that story really quickly because it's kind of
yeah.
interesting, speaking of God ordained stuff. This was somebody in my community who briefly considered hiring me, but then she ended up hiring a licensed midwife who I really
Okay.
love, and she's great. And I have to tell you, I repeatedly had these little, like, passing thoughts in my spirit of, like, volunteering to attend this birth as the midwife's birth assistant. And
Okay.
I ignored it over and over and talked myself out of it. And then a couple things happened that basically led to me being like, "Okay, Lord. Okay, I hear you. I will do the do the thing." And I'm not gonna get into why exactly that happened, but it just became like, "Okay, it's time to step out and offer that," which felt a little vulnerable. Like, I'm inviting myself, like, "Do you wanna bring me on as your birth assistant?" Essentially, slash to
Sure.
the midwife and then to the mom, like, "Can I come to your birth?" But
Right.
felt clearly to volunteer to do it too. So
Okay.
I reached out to the midwife and said, "Hey, this may be totally crazy, but I'm just trying not to ignore the Lord right now. And I think I'm sensing that, like, to offer to be a birth assistant at this birth." And she's like, "Yeah, I would actually love that. This is the only birth I don't have an assistant lined up for."
Look
And
at
then it
that.
turned I know. And then it turned out that the doula that the mom was going to have come could no longer come. So I got to show up. So I agreed to do this on Friday night, and then early Saturday morning, I got called to the birth. So
Wow.
I was on call for what, 7 hours before I got called to the baby.
That's so good.
So I got to be like the birth assistant slash doula, and it just felt really easy and natural, and great. And it
I
was
love that.
for a multip, like almost a grand multip, but it was kind of a slow birth. So it was just kind of gentle and took most of the day, but peaceful. And I think she had a really good birth. And I was really
That's
glad to have been
beautiful.
there.
Love that.
Yeah. Kind of neat how I got to spend most of my summer in like an off call mindset, like what you were
Yeah.
describing a few minutes ago. And then also the Lord dropped these 2 births in my lap that like only minimally interrupted that state of being, but
Yeah.
still allowed me to show up and serve in a way that was really, really great. So
I love that.
if only it could always be
That's
that way.
right. If only.
If only I could only be on call for like 1 to 3 days every time.
But
Yeah.
that's great. Very much precious gifts. Precious
Yeah.
gifts.
The other cool thing that happened for me since we last recorded that I just have to mention is that I got to go see Hamilton, the
Oh,
touring Broadway show.
I'm not jealous at all.
Oh my gosh, it
It's
was
like
so
that
good.
meme of what is it, Jennifer Aniston as Rachel in Friends, where she's sitting in Central Park, and she's like, "I'm so totally happy for you and not jealous at all." This is me
I don't know
right
if I've
now.
seen that. Sorry. I tried to make you jealous.
No, not at all. I am truly happy for you. That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it was such a splurge, but I have this aunt who has been into theater my entire life, and I grew up my mom took us to the theater. It was like just one thing we did as a family was we went to the
Yeah,
theater a lot. And then I had this aunt who was like an actress and just a theater buff and worked at the theater near my house growing up that got all the touring Broadway shows, and she has seen most Broadway shows at least once. And she had already
Yeah.
seen Hamilton. I think she said 26 times, but she was like, it's like, does anyone want to go see Hamilton while it's in town? So
Yeah, obviously.
I went with her. And it's so fun to go see a show with her because she has all the behind the scenes like trivia tidbits, like, and so it's like in between, like she's telling me these little things, like for instance, fun fact about Hamilton and musicals in general. Usually musicals have about 4,000 to 6,000 words. And one of the reasons that Lin-Manuel decided to make it in the hip hop format was so that he could fit in more words. And Hamilton has 20,000 words in it compared to the 4 to 6,000 in an average musical. So it's so fast paced. You know, you're having to like really pay attention really closely the
Yeah.
entire time to catch all of the stuff that's packed into that show. But then on top of that, the music is just so good, you know? And
Yeah.
it's just, it was a really good performance. So I just love Broadway theater, and it had been a minute since I'd gotten to go, and this was a great one to re-enter the Broadway musical scene with.
That's so good. It's so good. Maybe that makes me want to maybe take my kids to theater. I was a thespian
That's
in my
right.
teen
Yeah.
years and I love the theater. I love the theater, but I have really fallen out of being able to, I haven't made that a priority. And some of that
Same. Yeah.
was, just circumstantial and whatnot, but maybe I'd make that part of this on-call time. I think you've inspired me, Brooke,
Do it.
to expose my children to some
Do it.
theater.
Even if it's community theater, I think it's still
Right?
such an awesome thing
For
to do.
sure, for sure.
It doesn't have to be like the Broadway shows, you know?
Yeah. I sent you that GIF I was talking about to your text.
Oh, thank you. I'll be
I'm
sure
so
to.
happy and not at all jealous.
Oh, I see it. What's funny is that in some strange way, she kind of looks like you and your body language in that particular
Yeah.
GIF.
I love that GIF so much. So happy and not at all jealous.
Yeah, we went to see like even one theater at a church near us a couple years ago that they were doing The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And
Fun.
I thought it was going to be kind of honestly like lame church theater, but
Yeah.
it was fantastic. It turns out this particular church specializes in doing like knock 'em out of the park dramas, like musical dramas and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just there's so many ways to enjoy it, and I hope that you get to do that on your off-call month now.
It'll be fun. I have to look and see what we have around us.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. All right. Anything else going on in your world over there?
Baby chicks.
Baby chicks.
Yeah, I had a broody hen who wouldn't quit sitting in spite of our attempts to break her of it, and so I ordered some day-old baby chicks, and we slipped them under her.
Yeah.
And she adopted them, and it's going great. So she's raising them.
Good.
No brooder box,
That's
no heat lamp,
wonderful.
just her, and she's very happy. Proud
Love
mother.
that. Yay.
Yeah.
We've had some chicken woes over here. We lost a
Oh, I
chicken
know.
last weekend. I'm telling you, y'all, I don't have a ton of good news.
Seriously.
We got 12 chickens. Was such a gift, beautiful thing. We had pretty much, it was like we had maybe enough space for more like 10 than 12. And he was like, okay, it'll be fine for the weekend. We'll take them right now. We've got the coop. The run was big enough for more than what we had. But the roost boxes and stuff, the coop itself was like, it needs to be a tad bigger. And so he was like, okay, cool. We got all the stuff. I'll build that tomorrow. And then that's when he threw us back out. And so that became, unfortunately, and I guess possibly irresponsibly, not part of like the top of his to-do list because the man couldn't move. And then I got called I had 2 births in that same time period. So I couldn't even like do it myself or direct my older boys to, like it just was not top priority anymore in that time. And then the pecking order got a little aggressive and all of them started picking on this one poor little chicken and essentially killed it. Like, I mean, it was by the time Like my kids kept doing noticing it, and they would remove her and like love on her outside, but as soon as they put her back in, they would just beat up on her, and she was just taking such a stressful toll. I don't know that she was sick. We couldn't find anything else other than she was just like hurt. And
Yeah.
so we finally just took her out permanently, but it was a little late. And then he was at least up enough that he's fixed the coop and it's got enough roosting boxes and stuff for everybody and plus.
Good. So they
But
haven't chosen a
she,
new victim.
right, but she did not make it. So that was sad.
It's so
And of
sad.
course, it was, the favorite one of all of the chickens because it always has to be that way. Okay, like this is the one the
Yeah.
kids had fell in love with, and that's the one they beat up on. Okay, so
Yeah. We're having that late night like conversation about what to do for the poor chicken. And then
yeah,
my daughter Hazel is a chicken keeper at our house, so we were tapping
yeah, it
into
was like,
her well of
help me.
knowledge. But it reminded me, our listeners probably don't know this story. I think it's kind of sweet though, about when you guys were up here one spring and one of our chickens was really unwell suddenly, and your kids and my kids ended up kind of just like creating this like really precious almost like altar and like resting space for her out in my yard. And I
Yeah,
remember they
just
were
little,
just like sitting in a circle around her, like holding vigil and like petting her and talking to her gently.
yeah,
And then she died
yeah,
while they were like with her. Um, and it was like both really sad, of course, but also was one of those moments where I just felt proud of our collective children for
yes,
the way that they held space for that hen in her final hours. And
yeah,
I think we even have told our Hearthmother Journey students since then that
yeah,
one way to practice holding space in birth is to hold space for other events, such as a dying chicken, for instance,
yes,
because we can practice that in
yeah,
so many places. And our kids did that well.
yep. And so they did that again.
Yeah,
Just
did they?
minus
Were they
your
there when she
kids.
passed away?
Well, no, because she passed away in the middle of the night while we was sleeping.
Mm,
So, but they were with her all through the day and were trying to nurse her back to health and all of that, and then held the little memorial service kind of situation like they had done for your hen. Um,
good. Hazel was really
so
worried about where you would bury your chicken because she said their ground is so rocky. Where are they going to bury her?
yeah, we can dig here too. It just but she's right. It is rocky. You have to dig deep and figure out where there's not a big boulder, but
Right. You did find a
but
spot. She'll be glad to know.
yeah, yeah, we can bury her. We did
Yeah.
so.
Good.
But unfortunately, we are down to 11.
They're already layers, right? Like they're laying hens?
They are, but they're not laying currently. I think the heat got too heavy.
Yeah.
So between the heat and not quite enough space, I think they were just like stressed. So
Yeah.
we are trying to, we got the recovery. I was thankful that we had kind of done all the things that Hazel had mentioned, like before
Mm-hmm.
we got a hold of her. I was like,
Confirming.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. I did all the right things. That's good. But
Mm-hmm.
it just was a little late, I think, on that
Yeah, I think so. Boo.
when we caught it. But yeah.
So life and death lessons with chickens and
Yep,
caregiving lessons
yep, for
and
sure.
how to lay the dead to rest lessons. We have
Yeah,
a chicken graveyard in my woods with yeah, and each one with flowers on it.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, I think it's such an important thing for our kids to, it's sad and yet it's character building and shaping
Mhm.
to if we can honor the life of an animal in that in such a reverent way, like how much more will they be prepared to honor life and death when it does touch their life in
Mhm.
deeper, more impactful ways of human loved ones. So may it be forming in the best ways, even in the heartache of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Mm. Well, I think you have to run out the door, don't you?
Do I have to leave very shortly so that we can get my husband to the chiropractor? So it was a nice little talk, maybe a little shorter than we normally have, but I think we hit some good get a little behind the scenes of Brooke and Lauren's lives.
Absolutely.
Maybe some spark of hope in new life, and some how to handle death, kind of a appropriate ending even when you think about it. So, nice little full circle conversation there.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm
All
glad to have
right.
had a chance to talk with you.
Yes. All right. Well, I guess until next time.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye for now.
Hey, so Lauren and I ended our cup of tea a little bit sooner than we otherwise might, so I'm just recording this part by myself. I would be remiss to not make sure you all know that we are currently, at this very moment, as of August 18, in open enrollment for Hearthmother Journey, which is our year-long birthkeeper training program. We call it Raising Up the Next Generation of Holy Wild Birthkeepers, and it has been one of the greatest joys and honors of our life to be able to create and facilitate this program and witness what God is doing through it in the women who become our students. And it's just been such a gift to us, and we know it would be to you too. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, please make sure you look at the show notes and visit the link there to find out more about this program. And enrollment is open through September 15. So it is not too late for you if you think this is calling your name. We already have 9 students enrolled. They're amazing, and I can't wait to get to know them. And so maybe you're going to be joining them.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Holy Wild Birth. We hope that you were genuinely encouraged, inspired, and challenged by what you heard today. If you're loving what you hear, please make sure that you share it. Leave reviews. That helps other mamas find this content as well. And don't forget to read the show notes, okay? Because that's where you can find our email address if you want to reach out to us and start a conversation. It's also where you'll find free offerings as well as invitations to work with me and or Lauren. We can't wait to get to know you. See you next week.